So, we're about to jump into something pretty unique here. We're breaking down a raw, first-person audio diary from someone's very first ayahuasca ceremony. And this isn't some reflection weeks later. No, this is what they recorded right after night one.
And right away, you can just hear how raw that is. This isn't a polished story. It's a direct download from the moments right after the ceremony. So, what makes someone even decide to do something this intense? Well, for the speaker, it all started with a really clear goal.
You know, like a lot of people who seek out this kind of medicine, the journey began with a very clear intention. This wasn't for fun. It was a focused mission for healing.
He was really dialing in on two big things, trying to find answers for some physical health stuff that just wouldn't go away, and also confronting what he called a spiraling level of anxiety. These were the things he was literally carrying with him into that room.
Okay, so he's got his intention locked in, and the physical part of the journey begins. About an hour after taking the medicine, the first effects really start to kick in.
He describes this immediate, really powerful physical reaction. And he mentions that this purge, which was all centered around his gut, was this crucial first step that totally set the stage for everything that came next. It was kind of like the body had to clear the way before the mind could really begin its journey.
And okay, this is where things start to get really fascinating. The experience began to connect his physical symptoms directly to his internal mental world in these incredibly symbolic ways. So, one of the physical things that was really bugging him was his vision. It had recently become blurry and hazy, a very real, very concrete physical problem. But the medicine completely reframed this for him. It turned this physical problem into this powerful metaphor. The blurriness in his eyes wasn't just physical. It was a direct reflection of his mental state, and the one word that kept coming to him was clarity, or, more specifically, his total lack of it.
I mean, this just perfectly shows the connection he was making, right? He realized his blurry vision was just a symptom of his mental state, of being stretched too thin, not finishing conversations, and just leaving all these open loops in his relationships and his work.
He also got hit with some pretty practical, almost work-related insights. He said they weren't exactly brand new ideas, but it was more like getting these powerful reminders of things he already knew deep down. There are no shortcuts. You got to do the hard work. And hey, if you don't know something, just ask.
But it wasn't just about him. The insights then started to, well, expand outward, forcing him to take a hard look at his connections with the other people in his life. A huge part of his reflection was about his partner, Angela. He had this realization that he was often splitting his attention, just taking her presence for granted. And the takeaways were super clear, super actionable. Be more present, actually engage with her, ask more questions, basically to zoom in on her. Okay, now this is where the imagery gets super specific and fascinating. He saw the 3 yellow stripes of the southern Vietnamese flag, which instantly connected him to his family's heritage. This one visual sparked this massive insight that he needed to have more empathy for what his family went through, to let them have their time to heal and to stop passing judgment. He also had this huge aha moment about creative work. He realized that for a creative person, their project is literally like their baby. It's born from so much thought and care, and to put that out into the world, man, that's an act of huge vulnerability, and it needs to be respected. And the whole time, weaving through all of these revelations was the soundscape. The music from the ceremony leaders was this powerful driving force that he said just took him to all these different places all night. He described it first as intensely masculine,
Then just incredibly strong.
and finally, almost aggressive, this constant percussive beat that he said just guided the entire journey through the whole night. All right, so after this absolutely wild night of physical purging and mental revelations, what does the morning after even look like? Well, this wasn't framed as some magic cure, but more like the first step on a much, much longer path. Well, the very first thing he noticed was a direct callback to that physical issue he started with. That blurry, hazy feeling he had before the ceremony, it had lifted. It was replaced by a real, tangible sense of improved mental clarity, so that symbolic connection had actually become a felt reality. And man, he just nails the feeling here that this was only step one. He totally recognized that this first foundational ceremony was just necessary to get him ready to peel back even more layers in the sessions that were still to come. Which really leaves us with the big question of any journey like this, doesn't it? After you confront what's on the surface, a whole new layer is revealed. So the question isn't just about what he experienced, it's about what happens next. What happens when you peel back that next layer?